warm welcome. You're watching Plain Speak here on CNN News 18 with me, Poonam Burde. It's exactly 14 days before the first vote is cast in Karnataka. There is a lot at stake as in any election. Before the BJP, it's about bucking the trend this time around as far as Karnataka is concerned. The state is known to have a revolving door of governments. Voters choose alternative parties every 5 years. But the BJP is hoping to reverse that very trend this time around. To give the BJP's campaign a fillip, their star campaigner and the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh hit campaign trail today. He addressed a rally in Mandya in the old Mysuru region, an area that's believed to be a weak link for the Saffron Party. Now in 2018, the BJP couldn't win any seats in 5 of the 30 districts in the state. Interestingly, all of those 5 districts fall in this old Mysuru region. To put this in perspective for our viewers, the old Mysuru region has 58 assembly seats out of the 224 strong assembly. That's 1/4 of the assembly strength. What's interesting is that the BJP's foothold in the region is also at about 1/4, which is 25%. There are 15 sitting MLAs of the BJP in this particular region in the entire state. Now that brings us to the entry of Yogi Adityanath, a star campaigner of the BJP. Now back in 2018, that's the last election, when Yogi Adityanath was one year into his first term as Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh, he had aggressively campaigned in Karnataka, from coastal Karnataka to Uttar Kannada to Belgaum, Bidar and Hubli Dharwad. He held as many as 33 rallies and roadshows. The party is believed to have won majority of the seats where Yogi had campaigned last time around. That is why this year many candidates demanded that Yogi Adityanath be present with them, show them his support as far as their campaign trail goes. The Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh held a roadshow this afternoon before he took to the podium. It was one of the 4 that he held today. When he took to stage, he launched an all-out attack on the Congress party. Let me take you through the biggest attacks that he made during that particular rally. Now, many would call this polarizing, but hear how it went. He said that the Congress has appeased the PFI for vote bank politics. Remember, the BJP has been saying this time and again about Siddaramaiah withdrawing cases against the PFI when he was Chief Minister. Yogi Adityanath then went on to say that it was the Congress that introduced the Muslim quota, which is now scrapped by the BJP. It's unconstitutional, completely illegal, but they did so only looking at appeasement politics and at vote bank. He then also went on to rake up the partition. He said, we've seen one partition of this country based on religion. We do not want religion-based reservation to lead to another partition, is what Yogi Adityanath said. But then what came was the interesting comparison that he made between Karnataka and Uttar Pradesh, the state that he heads. He says there has been no curfew in Uttar Pradesh, there is no danga, everything is all is well. No danga, no everything is changa, is what the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh said. He then went on to say that that is exactly what a double-engine Sarkar can give you. We've seen that in Uttar Pradesh and you will see that in Karnataka if the BJP returns. Now many see Yogi Adityanath as a polarizing figure. His comments have often been at the center of heated political debates. Is that sentiment there today as well? Judge for yourself.
डबल इंजन की सरकार की सामर्थ्य और शक्ति का प्रदर्शन वहां पर मजबूती के साथ होता है। नो कर्फ्यू, नो दंगा, और वहां पर है सब चंगा। एक और डबल इंजन की सरकार जो पीएफआई में बैन करती है, पीएफआई को बैन करती है, और दूसरी तरफ कांग्रेस जो पीएफआई को तुष्टीकरण करने का कार्य करती है। धर्म के आधार पर आरक्षण यह भारत के संविधान के विपरीत है, असंवैधानिक है।
For decades, the BJP has struggled to spread its wings in the old Mysuru region. It's a region that is dominated by the Vokkaliga community. The Vokkaliga community constitutes 15% of the total electorate in the state. They have traditionally voted for the JDS and the Congress. But that community is going to be extremely crucial if the BJP wants to retain Karnataka, their gateway to the south of India. And that brings us to Yogi Adityanath. Him starting his campaign trail from Mandya may not be such a coincidence after all. It's a clear, thought-out strategy as many experts would believe. Let me tell you why. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath is an adherent to the Nath Sampradaya. The Mandya's Mutt has allegiance to that very same sect. The link between the Mandya Mutt and this particular sect that is followed by Yogi Adityanath as well, that link is something that the BJP has wanted to exploit and speak of since the 2018 elections. The pontiff of this particular mutt has a personal rapport with Yogi Adityanath as well. That Vokalega monk, in fact, has visited Uttar Pradesh multiple times since 2017, since Yogi Adityanath took over. And that personal rapport is something that the BJP is banking on for support from within the community. And that brings us to the debate that we open up here on Plain Speak. Yogi Adityanath has made his entry into Karnataka. Will this UP narrative, though, give the BJP a leg up, give the BJP an edge?
ಶ್ರೀ ಯೋಗಿ ಆದಿತ್ಯನಾಥ ಜಿ ಅವರಿಗೆ
ಅಖಂಡ ಭಾರತದ ಕಲ್ಪನೆ ಕಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ को तुष्टीकरण करने का कार्य करती है, उन्हें धर्म के आधार पर रिजर्वेशन देने का कार्य करती है।
3.5 सालों से जो सरकार कर्नाटका में आई है, उसने हर स्तर पर आपका विश्वास तोड़ा है। पैसों से विधायकों को खरीदा गया, कांग्रेस और जेडीयू की सरकार को तोड़ के बनाया।
This time, people are already decided to choose JDS. BJP and Congress behavior in between them. People have discussed about their attitudes.
Let's open this up to our panelists. Sudha Halkai, spokesperson of the Karnataka BJP, joins us on this broadcast. Spokesperson of Karnataka Congress, Dhruv Jati, is also with us. JDS spokesperson Pratap Kanagal is with me on this broadcast, as well as senior journalist B.S. Arun. But I want to ask spokesperson of the BJP, Sudha Halkai, the fact that we started we started Yogi Adityanath's campaign from the old Mysore region, from Mandya, the link between the Vokkaliga Mutt and the sect that Yogi Adityanath is a part of. Do you think that's a mere coincidence? Has the party deliberately planned this and now you're looking at the Vokkaliga vote bank?
Is it for me?
Sudha Halkai.
Hello?
Ms. Halkai, if you can hear me.
Hello?
We'll try and reconnect that line with the BJP spokesperson, but I'll get in the other panelists as well. And Dhruv Jati, before we reconnect with the BJP spokesperson, how do you look at the kind of comments that have come to the fore, the push that Yogi Adityanath is making in this particular region of Karnataka?
Ironically, CM like Yogi Adityanath, who's unable to maintain law and order in his own state, Uttar Pradesh, who's campaigning in Karnataka today. From 2017 to 2022, Uttar Pradesh has had over 35,000 cases, making it the highest in India, right? And a state like Karnataka, which is extremely diverse. I heard you mention about the Vokkaligas being dominant in old Mysore region. We also have a large number of communities over there which belong to the backward and the Dalits. Do you think an anti-CM, like the anti-Dalit CM like Yogi Adityanath, mind you, I say this because of his handling of the Hathras case, do you think the people of old Mysuru region would even pay heed to such a person? I highly doubt it. And let me also bring to your notice that the folks and the star national campaigners of the Bharatiya Janata Party are also colleagues with people such as who are scot-free on the Bilkis Bano case today. They are also colleagues of Babu Bajrangi, who very explicitly went on, to very sadly say that he had cut open a woman's stomach and held her fetus on a sword and claimed to be Maharana Pratap. Do you think a state like Karnataka, that is diverse religiously, and also a state that is so unique, is going to pay heed to the Bharatiya Janata Party? Nevertheless, this election on the whole is going to be fought on local issues, on issues such as whether Bharatiya Janata Party has gone to, subjugate the entire, our own Nandini cooperative dairy, the 40% scams, the multiple scams, whether it was even the Bharatiya Janata Party's, the issue of price rise and also the mass vacancies in government jobs. The narrative and the issue of the Karnataka people today are mainly on the local ones. nothing related to Yogi coming and campaigning in Karnataka. There's very little effect of it on the whole.
But back in 2018, that effect was seen. Experts believe that there was some dent that Yogi Adityanath did make, and he was back then just 1 year into his chief ministership at Uttar Pradesh. Now he has a historic second term. Do you still think it's not going to have an effect?
Nothing of that sort is going to work, simply because the people of Karnataka today are worried about local issues, issues that concern them deeply. That is what is affecting every single person from Karnataka, and that is what the Congress is guaranteeing through its 4 guarantees in the state, to uplift and empower Kannadigas. Unlike the Bharatiya Janata Party, who's running a campaign that is not based on development, but on dividing and subjugating communities and making the state a war of what I would say religious communities.
Sure. Sudha Halkai, if you heard that, I want you to get in and answer what the Congress says. They say that Yogi Adityanath coming to Karnataka, making comments like Congress appeasing the PFI, Congress appeasing a certain vote bank, all of that is not going to resonate because the people of the state are looking at local issues, and that is what is going to be on the voters' mind on voting day on the 10th of May.
Very good evening, and I feel immensely proud that our leader Yogi Adityanath ji has come to our state for the canvassing of the assembly elections. It's a matter of pride for us. Second thing, what our Congress spokesperson has told, that these are all false allegations, that what Mr. Yogi Adityanath ji is telling regarding the PFI and appeasement politics. Please tell me, wasn't the PFI cases being seized by Mr. Siddaramaiah ji? Is it wrong? Let them prove that it is
wrong.
No,
I don't think he said these allegations are baseless. Sudha Halkai, he said that these don't matter. It's not a narrative that the voter wants to hear.
Why doesn't? You think that the terrorist organizations like PFI, the people of Karnataka want the terrorist organizations to be groomed in our state? Is that why one of our Yuva Morcha, Praveen Nattar, was murdered in the open day? Why was he murdered? And the people behind this was PFI. Why we should allow these people to be groomed in our state? For what?
Which Bharatiya Janata Party member did Santosh Patil mention in his suicide note?
Okay, tell me about the bureaucrats who committed suicide during Siddaramaiah ji's government. 3 to 4 bureaucrats has committed suicide. What action has been taken against the leaders? What action has been taken? Why these people, by these intellectual, educated, the people who maintain the law and order in our state committed suicide? What was going through them? What were they suffering? What was that necessity for them to commit suicide? What action has been taken against them? And one thing, what you're telling about Mr. Santosh, who has committed suicide, let me tell you, please, let me tell you. When you raise the question, let me answer it.
The 60
cases, no, you need to allow me to speak. I've allowed you to speak, okay? The 60 cases which was filed by Lokayukta against the Congress government was closed by Siddaramaiah ji. Why was it closed by Siddaramaiah ji, and why was all the power given to the ACB? The ACB is an agency where it has to consult the chief minister before proceeding with any case. Why was that power given to the ACB? Let me tell. If this thing was not happened in a way back in 2015-16, I think nearly every Congress person would have faced this.
Election in 2023.
What you're speaking about.
Local issues such as the Nandini Dairy Cooperative, the long list of scams is what concerns us at this point of time. And as a ruling party, why did you close? Why did you close the local? We have not. We have not stopped any. What about Nandini? Nandini has got a more turnover regarding when compared to the Congress government, first and foremost. And Amul was there in Karnataka since way long back. And my government, Mr. Yediyurappa ji, has given 2 rupees extra for every farmer. And now we are giving 5 rupees extra for every farmer. Okay, for the milk farmers, one thing. And during Congress government, only 17 names of the farmers were sent to the central ministry for the Kisan Sanman Yojana, whereas 55 lakh farmers have been benefited from the double engine Sarkar. Why did you not provide the central schemes to the farmers? What mistake they had done? Why did you play this cheap politics? I'd like to come in here. See,
you should have given all the beneficiaries.
Sure, Sudha Halkai, yeah, you've made your point. Let Dhruv Jatti also come in. I need to get in the other 2 gentlemen on the panel as well. Dhruv Jatti, go ahead.
A quick counter to what's being said over here. See, it's a matter of fact that the narrative of the Bharatiya Janata Party is nothing on local elections. They're trying to change the narrative on the whole, bring national star campaigns.
Everything is on local elections.
ironically, even as a woman, I don't believe that anybody in Karnataka, even the women of Karnataka, would encourage somebody, especially after his handling of the Hathras case. Somebody like Yogi Adityanath has zero impact in Karnataka, and that's a matter of fact. And the Bharatiya
Yogi
Janata Party
Adityanath has got
Bharatiya Janata Party is
immense
so much on
respect
the back foot
throughout India, not
that
only
they
India,
had to
throughout the
that they even
world.
had to manipulate the entire reservation issue. They had to manipulate the entire reservation issue. They had to get insulted by the Supreme Court of India, which hasn't even passed the reservation issue. They're trying to fool the people of Karnataka. And lastly, in the end, you have Amit Shah today who comes to threaten the people of Karnataka. And that's a matter of fact. The Bharatiya Janata Party has run out of issues to address today, and they are reluctant to speak about local issues. And that's a matter of fact today.
Sure.
Mr. Dhruv Jati, let me educate you regarding the reservations. One thing is Muslims had 3 reservations. One is category 1, one is 2A, and one is 2B. Category 1 and 2A still exist, whereas only category B has been removed from the OBC. And whereas
Ma'am, these claims are not
minorities from
constitutional. They
the
are legally
Muslims,
tenable. They exceed the 50% cap. And these reservations have not been approved by the Supreme Court. That is a matter of fact. No matter how you try to educate through false narratives, a fact can be a fact.
See, there is no injection from the Supreme Court. There is no injection. Let us not talk about the subjudicial matter over here because that matter is still in the court.
And that matter is going to come up one day before voting happens in Karnataka. Whether or not the court decides to put a stay on it or not, we'll have to wait and watch out for.
We have taken a date for next hearing.
Yeah, and the next date of hearing is 9th of May, which is one day before Karnataka goes to vote. It'll be interesting to see what comes out of court that day as well, because this reservation issue is something that we have seen B.S. Arun come up in the last few weeks as far as campaigning goes. That's something that the BJP has been speaking about, has been driving home. That it was only appeasement, which is why this quota existed in the first place. It's completely illegal and unconstitutional, says the BJP.
Exactly,
the Congress, though, has come out and said that we will overturn this if we are voted to power. Do you think this is something that is going to have a bearing as far as one particular community is concerned and their voting pattern is concerned?
See, here we have to move a bit away from the Muslim issue because, I will tell you a bit of, history here. The Panchamsali Lingayats were on an agitation for the last 2 years or more than 2 years, demanding a separate category of reservation for them. Panchamsalis are a powerful, influential sect within the Lingayats, and Lingayats, as you know, are the main voter base of the BJP. Now, what Bombay government did was, as you know, they removed the 4% reservation for Muslims and divided that equally between Lingayats and the Vokaligas. The same evening when Bombay did this, the same evening the Panchamsali leaders said that they will withdraw the agitation. I think with this, Bombay won a major hurdle for him and for the party, and the Panchamsalis chose to back the BJP as they were doing before. Until then, there was a fear among the BJP leaders that they might not get the support of this particular sect. I think this was a big moral booster for the BJP. And as far as the reservation issue was concerned, they put it at rest at that time. And now it has been, because the issue has gone to the court, especially the Supreme Court. Now the issue has been raked up again, and as you know, it will come up only on the 9th. Now, as far as the Muslim quota is concerned, now the BJP, the Congress is trying to tell the people about what is wrong with this, whereas the BJP leaders are saying, how do you restore back the reservation for the Muslims? And that is a valid question also, because in our country, nothing that is given will be taken back, can be taken back, and especially you cannot say that during the elections. So that is a huge question for the Congress if it comes to power, and if the status quo is maintained, about the reservation issue. So now the BJP has to convince the electorate that whatever they have done, the amendment and the new policy, that will be for the benefit of these two communities. Whereas Congress has to say that it will restore the Muslim community without affecting the reservation quota, the reservation percentages for the other communities. And this is a big task even for both the parties, especially the Congress.
Sure. Dhruv Jati, you want to get in?
I'd like
it's
to
not going to be as easy as the Congress believes it is going to be. What if this is another poll promise from the Congress's side that yes, we'll overturn it, and then it goes in cold storage again or hits a legal hurdle again?
See, also to add up, let's clear the air on reservation. Firstly, they base the change for reservation on an interim report which stands invalid as stated as per the precedent of the Maratha Kota reservation judgment, right? And what's happened is this current reservation matters are clearly unconstitutional and legally tenable, and they also go ahead to exceed the 50% quota on the whole. If the reservation change has to be made, it cannot be made based on interim reports. There has to be a clear-cut caste census that is going to be taken, and then it can be presented in front of the Supreme Court. That's what must happen. And I don't think it's right for any of us to go over and beyond and comment on the reservation issue because it's simply in the Supreme Court at this point of time.
Sure.
And on the next month of May 9th, we'll know what's going to happen with it. But on the whole, the Congress party is all it's asking for is for a clear-cut caste census to take place and not base it just on an interim report, which is completely biased.
Sure, but let's concentrate on what the campaign is standing at. And as far as the old Mysuru region is concerned, I want to get in the JDS as well. Pratap Kanagal, the old Mysuru region, Mandya, is believed to be a JDS bastion. But there are reports of a rift within the first family of the JDS as well. Where does that leave the party? Are you going to be able to keep that bastion, or do you think the kind of campaigning that we've seen Yogi Adityanath beginning his campaign trail with Mandya, Amit Shah, the Union Home Minister, also hitting the trail first in Mandya, that region clearly is getting a renewed push by the BJP?
First and foremost, I just would like to start with correcting Mr. Yogi Adityanath, who said Yogi Adityanath claimed that Congress given the Muslim quota reservation rules. It's wrong. It's 4% of reservation were given by Mr. H.D. Goda in 1994 when he was Chief Minister of Karnataka, based on the Minority Commission report. Okay, that's for clarification. And it comes to when you said there's a rift in the first family. So it's completely wrong. It was a demand for one of the seats. There was a demand and for the seat for Arts and Assembly Council. It is sorted out, and everybody together they are campaigning. The ticket was given to the former MLA son, Mr. Saurav Prakash, and he's on the field and along with the Revenue's family, entire family. So there is no tension all together, and all this. It's all media speculation still going on that, but everything is clear. That's apart. Okay. Coming to Mr. Yogi Adityanath and Mr. Amit Shah campaigning in Mandya and the old Mysuru region. It's not the first time. Even in 2018, for just to remind you, 2018 he campaigned in old Mysuru region as well as. In fact, he went ahead one step ahead and he stayed in the Chhattisgarh mud, which is Okliga's dominant mud. He stayed in that mud. Send some kind of message. But what happened in the end? In the entire Mandya, the mud is in Mandya. Mandya, they are not even. I don't think so. Even in one constituency, they are able to check in the second place. So that is not reality. But yes, they are free to attempt. They can try. Let them try. Like any other party, just like we are trying every other. They also can try. But let me tell you, people are smart enough to understand what is today's date, what is Uttar Pradesh, what is Karnataka. And we don't want people don't like some state like Uttar Pradesh where every day it's used for only for the wrong reasons like rapes or murders and rights and everything.
Sure.
And that person comes here and teaches about how to develop a state or how to maintain the law and order. It's as good as when President of Zimbabwe or Venezuela coming to India and teach us about how to manage finance in India. Right?
Sure. So the Halkai, both the Congress and the JDS are on the same page as far as that is concerned, that we don't need someone from Uttar Pradesh to come and lecture us because the crime is increasing there. But before I get you in, I also want to tell both the JDS and the Congress spokesperson that yes, the numbers may have increased as far as overall crime is concerned, but specific parameters, the crime has decreased, and that's perhaps what the BJP is trying to highlight. The cases of communal riots has gone down from 2017 to 2020. The cases of rape and murder have also gone down as far as the NCRB data is concerned. So the BJP is harping on that. But Sudha Halkai, go ahead.
Yeah, I would
Karnataka
like to
state
tell
and the
I would
people
like
of
to mention few
Karnataka
of the
don't
achievements.
need
Lot of
someone like
achievements are
Yogi
there.
Adityanath to come in and lecture them, says say your rivals.
See, Yogi Adityanath is the chief minister from one of the largest states of our country, first and foremost. Second thing, he is like a firebrand of Hindutva. Third thing is he is the one who has got a dead end to the mafia in Uttar Pradesh. Uttar Pradesh was known to the number of crimes and criminals in way back, few years back. He is the one who got law and order in place to the previous government. Third thing is he has got highest global investment, somewhere around more than 32 lakh crore investment has been done in Uttar Pradesh. Almost MOUs of more than 18,650 MOUs have been signed. So we take it in par with the development, take it in par with maintaining law and order, take it getting the mafia dead end, and including lot of things where Yogi Adityanath has been famous throughout India, not only for Karnataka. And definitely it's a matter of pride for us to get a chief minister, to get a person like Yogi Adityanath ji to come on for star campaigner, unlike Mr. Imran, who is a close associate of Aziz, okay, he tells he is a guru of him, and he wrote a poem on him and whatnot. The person who was shot dead recently. So you tell me, you think people of Karnataka cannot make out who is a star campaigner and who is a criminal campaigner?
Sure, Pratap Kanagal, 30 seconds. I need to get in B.S. Arun as well.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You don't seem to buy the argument that the BJP is making.
Completely. See, whatever the claims, whatever the claims is all fine, but even in the end of the day, what I would like to say is, like, these units, as a development happens, the Kannadigas will be the first people to be very, very happy on this earth. Because then we will have our jobs to be saved for our Kannadigas, and also GST money, whatever the GST revenue generating, we will get back more money for the development of Karnataka.
Sure.
So we'll be very happy for that, and we will congratulate whenever he does that.
Sure.
But just for the sake of
I want B.S. Arun to have the last word, because he is a neutral party in this particular panel, and that's why I want to ask him, this UP narrative, or the comparison that is being made by Yogi Adityanath today, that he did across his 4 rallies in Karnataka, where he said that look what we've done in Uttar Pradesh, what it was back pre-Yogi era in 2017 and what it is now. They're two completely different pictures, they're two completely different stories. And that also works because there is the same government both at the center and the state. That's the pitch he was trying to make in Karnataka today. Do you think the voters of Karnataka feel that sentiment? Do you think that kind of comparison actually resonates with the voters?
See, I think there will be a mixed reaction to this. On the one hand, you see some regions supporting his statements, and some other regions they don't. Like if you come to the old Mysore region where he has started his campaign today, I'm sure that this region will not back Yogi Adityanath, because both the old Mysore region as well as the Vakaligas, the predominant population there, they are a very, very inclusive people. Vakaligas are very inclusive people. The entire region, except for parts of Mysore city, it's very inclusive. And we have not seen the riots there. We have seen what happened to the Uri Gowda, Nanjegowda issue there. And BJP had to face a backlash and had to withdraw the entire thing because the Vakaliga Swamiji asked them to do so. And they had to keep quiet now. So this region, I'm sure, will think twice before backing Yogi Adityanath. But at the same time, you have other regions like the coastal Karnataka, the Bangalore, Udupi regions, and there it is the Hindutva cause and all that, which will gain an upper hand. And Yogi, I think, will make an impact there.
Sure.
And other regions, I'm not sure where, his impact will be felt.
Sure.
The thing is, it will be a mixed reaction. We can't say that his impact won't be there at all, or can we say that he's going to win hands down for the BJP.
Sure. So there might be a mixed reaction. Whether or not it helps the BJP or it helps its rivals, we'll find out only on voting day. Unfortunately, I'm running short of time and I have to leave it at that. But I thank you all panelists for joining us here on this broadcast with your perspective. Shifting focus now to debate number 2, and this is from Kerala. The days after the NCERT removed key chapters from syllabus of class 8th to 12th, now the Kerala State Board is mulling inclusion of those deleted chapters and portions of those chapters in the SCRT syllabus, which is the state board curriculum. The NCERT recently, remember, had revised syllabus for class 10 and 12 that deleted chapters on Mughal history, on Gujarat riots and Darwin's theory of evolution. Certain references to Mahatma Gandhi's assassination and what he did after the independence of India were also removed from the political science textbook. Now, the NCERT claimed that these deletions were part of the centre's focus on syllabus rationalization. Earlier this week, Kerala's curriculum committee made a decision to include those deleted chapters in their syllabus. They said that we'll make supplementary textbooks as far as the state curriculum is concerned. Kerala Education Minister came on record to defend his department's move and slammed the BJP for what they claim is distortion of history. Now, this decision, as far as Kerala State Board curriculum is concerned, is still awaiting a final approval both from the Chief Minister and then a nod from the Cabinet. But it's all but done is what we're learning. So here is what has transpired so far. Let's take you through the sequence of events. Now, the NCERT decided to drop certain portions from these textbooks. These are textbooks that are used in CBSE, ICSE schools. Massive opposition in Kerala was seen after this decision. The Chief Minister of Kerala, Pinarayi Vijayan, criticized this move. He even wrote to the central government with his objections. He said this is nothing but saffronization of education and that must be opposed. Now, Kerala's Curriculum Steering Committee held a meeting to chart a way forward and what can be done. Post that, they decided that we can find a way to add supplementary textbooks in the state curriculum. Kerala Education Minister then said that the state can reprint these books, but that would perhaps lead to confusion or copyright issues if you reprint those same books, which is why we'll have supplementary textbooks, is what they said. Then the Kerala Education Minister decided to include those deleted portions in different parts of the syllabus. These chapters deleted from the NCERT included Mughals, the Darwin's theory, like I said. All of that is going to be included in state board textbooks now. The Education Department entrusts the Kerala Education Minister with the final decision. The Kerala Education Minister, meanwhile, putting the ball in the court of the Chief Minister. But that decision is all but done. It's not a simple case of changes to syllabus, though. There is much more to that. There is political firefighting that's also happening. Even though this decision has not been implemented so far, it has triggered a massive war of words between the ruling left in Kerala and the BJP. Here's what the BJP says. The BJP says that they should match the standard of the NCERT. Why make these changes in state board? To which the CPIM says that this was a unanimous decision made by an expert panel by the steering committee, which is why these changes are proposed. The BJP then says that the LDF is indulging in vote bank politics, which is the only reason why they're making these changes. The ruling left then said that talking about Gandhi's assassination is not politics, it's facts, it's history, that is something that students should learn. The BJP then claimed that appeasement politics is not going to help the left in Kerala. To which the CPM responded that the BJP is only trying to distort our history and that too is not going to work. So it's like I said, it's not just a mere change in politics, it is a full-blown political war as far as syllabus and textbooks is concerned. Is this just politicking? That's our debate number 2. Is it rationalization or is it saffronization? Is it just mere politics or is it something that is going to have a deep impact on the future of millions of students? Joining me on this broadcast, senior leader of the CPIM, Brinda Karat, Saira Shah Halim, author and activist, will be joining us shortly. Kerala BJP Vice President Dr. Pramila Devi also joins me. But let me begin by asking Brinda Karat of the CPIM. Now, Ms. Karat, the states have complete control over making changes in the curriculum, which is why there's absolutely no reason why the Kerala government should think twice before making these changes if they deem fit. But many are seeing this as a tit-for-tat decision. How do you respond to that?
I don't think any state is interested in tit-for-tat, frankly. The fact of the matter is the central government is riding roughshod on principles of federalism. Even those subjects which are brought on the concurrence list, the centre believes that it has full and absolute rights over it. Why didn't they consult the state governments before making all these sweeping changes in the name of rationalization? So certainly the states do have a right to scrutinize those textbooks, and where the state governments feel that this is not in the interest of education, it's not in the interest of children's education, certainly they have every right to intervene.
Sure, they have a right to intervene, and which is why, like I said right at the beginning, the states have full power to do so, which is why they're doing so as far as the cabinet nod is concerned. But the NCERT has come out and made a defense where they say that this is just a rationalization process, especially after considering we're still reeling under the aftershocks of the pandemic. We are just trying to lessen the burden that is there on students. That has been the defense. Why do you dismiss that defense or that argument and say that this is nothing but an assault on federalism or saffronization of education?
What I say is, if you want to rationalize textbooks, what is the method you are going to imply? Now, the kind of changes which are being made, the deletions which are being made, seem to be focused on a very specific aspect of our history. And to remove all those portions in the name of rationalization is actually totally irrational.
Sure.
For example, why should the theory of evolution and Darwin's role in the development of the theory of evolution, why should it be removed? It's a very, very important part of a child's education.
Sure.
Why should the history of our independence movement be tampered with? Why, for example, should the background of the killer of whom we consider Mahatma Gandhi, the father of the nation, be deleted? What is the rationality behind that?
Sure.
So it seems that an unscientific, predetermined agenda is being used as the marker to mess around with textbooks of children and the education of children. I think that is objectionable. I mean, the people who wrote the NCERT textbooks, they're not your enemies, are they? Did you ever consult them? Did you ever ask them that, look, we need to cut out quite a lot to make studies easier for the children, instead of just deleting what you want to because of your own agenda?
Sure.
So that is why we say it is objectionable.
Sure, but Ms. Karat, I also want to ask you, here on CNN News 18, we had also spoken to the NCERT chief, and to us he said that the national education policy is going to come into effect. So this perhaps is just a matter of time. It's going to be perhaps 1 year, and then there are going to be more changes that come to the fore, and all of those are being made as far as recommendations of an expert panel is concerned.
My biggest fear is that these guys don't know what they are doing. Isn't that highly irresponsible? For 1 year you are going to teach your children something, then you yourself are saying everything is going to be changed. Then why didn't you wait for next year to make those changes? It's utterly irrational. They are just working not for education, but for a predetermined education agenda. Agenda, which is nothing to do with education per se, but everything to do with educating the people of India for a sectarian agenda of those in power.
Sure. And I want to get in the BJP in as well. Dr. Pramila Devi, how do you look at this? This is nothing but saffronization. It's nothing but agenda. It's wasting time of our students and putting their future in jeopardy. That's the allegation.
That's looking at things from a colored glass, from one single angle. It's not like that. It has long been the request of parents and students that they're having too much of syllabus and they need to be deburdened. So it's in accordance with the request of parents, teachers, teachers and students that the new rationalization has been happening. And another thing regarding the removal of certain topics like Darwin's theory of evolution and so on, it's not said that students should never refer to these books or they shouldn't read these books. Everyone knows about it. When new ideas, new principles, and new items are to be included in the syllabus, certain things should be removed. Otherwise, we would be overloading our students.
Sure.
And look at the syllabus of the schools in the Western Hemisphere. Do they teach the students all this stuff? Do students get to know about all this only from the syllabus or from the textbooks? No, it's not that way. Students nowadays, anywhere in the world, whether it is in the United States or in China or in India or in Japan or anywhere else, they are more knowledgeable because they are more open than our generation to knowledge. Information is at the fingertips.
Sure.
Even before joining the preschool, the kindergarten, they know so much about the prehistoric animals, flora and fauna, and about the world, about volcanoes, about oceans, and everything else.
Sure.
So students are not limited or confined to the small space of textbooks alone in this age.
Sure.
They can read about whatever they want to. They can watch, they can gather information.
Sure.
But textbooks shouldn't be that much stuffed with all those unnecessary information.
Sure. So it's
Knowledge
not
is always
saffronization,
renewable.
Saira Shah Halim. You're only looking at it through a colored prism. We're just
it's
ensuring that there's no burden on our students. That's the defense that the NCERT made as well.
Yeah, that's it. Are you asking me?
No, Saira Shah Halim, go ahead.
The
Yeah.
argument of rationalization doesn't hold ground, because if you look at the chapters that have been eliminated by NCERT, these consist of topics related to kings and chronicles. The Mughal courts, the entire 16th and 17th century has been wiped out from the history books. Themes of Indian history, which is again a very, very pertinent part of Indian history, that has been conveniently eliminated. You look at chapters like US hegemony in world politics, that has been eliminated. Then the Cold War, that's been taken away. Then you look at politics in India since independence. That again is a very vital part of modern history. That's been taken away. Then rise of popular movements. You look at one party dominance. All those chapters have been taken away, with the government of the day arguing that it wants to rationalize the syllabus. Here, when you talk about the industrial revolution, you talk about confrontation of cultures, you talk about themes in world history. You know, all these are very important. You can't take away Mughal history because this is the entire 16th and 17th century. You can't wipe out 2 centuries. And here, Central Islamic lands have been eliminated, confrontation of cultures, industrial revolution, themes in world history. Not only that, as Ma'am Brinda Karat was talking about Charles Darwin theory, we need to understand that we need to fan a scientific temperament in the country. So here, you are eliminating the complete theory of evolution. You are trying to...
But Saira Shah Halim, I just want to, sorry to interrupt you there, but I just want to ask you, the move that the state government in Kerala wants to do, that at these...
there were no Muslim freedom fighters.
Saira Shah Halim, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I just want to ask you something. This move by the Kerala government, where they say that they are going to be including this in SCRT textbooks, and there are going to be supplementary textbooks, because otherwise there's going to be a copyright issue, there's going to be too much confusion. But don't you think having these supplementary textbooks is only going to add to that confusion? Forget the burden that is being added. Don't you think there's just going to be confusion?
I think Kerala government has acted very responsibly, has acted in a very responsible manner, and the rest of the states should, follow this example, that you cannot diminish someone's stature, you cannot eliminate vital parts of Indian history, you cannot eliminate vital parts of science, when you talk about the Charles Darwin's theory of evolution, you cannot do that. And I think states have the power to decide what is best for the state, what is best for the student.
Sure.
I think West Bengal and Orissa and other progressive states should also follow suit and ensure that supplementary sheets, supplementary copies are given to the children so that they learn, what world history is about, what modern history is about, what science is all about, and what our great freedom fighters, including Maulana Azad, what they contributed to the Indian freedom struggle. And I think this is a laudable step taken by the Kerala government, and I think the West Bengal government and other progressive states should also follow this example moving forward.
So, Dr. Pramila, are we going to be seeing a Pandora's box open here? Are we going to be seeing other states follow suit as well? Yes, there is going to be additional learning for these students, but if they are going to be judged on that, if they are going to be questioned and quizzed on that particular supplementary work as they see, again, that brings us to the load that comes in on students. But if we add that pattern across different states as well, what are we going to have as far as students who come out of state board schools or colleges concerned and those out of central board?
It's much more than opening of a Pandora's box. The government of Kerala has always taken such nonsense steps. When CA was about to be implemented, the Kerala government stood the ground saying that they wouldn't accept it. When Ajmal Kasab was sentenced, again the Kerala government stood with him. So the government of Kerala has always been taking such insane steps against the spirit of nationalism, against the interest of this nation. But this time they are challenging the NCERT, and the NCERT has to respond in whatever ways it has to.
Sure.
Because it's the decision of the NCERT after studying the syllabus, after getting the response from parents and teachers and students, and it's a well thought out decision.
Sure.
If the government of Kerala decides not to accept it and to teach the students all that has been eliminated by the NCERT, what a big burden would it be for the students?
Sure.
The newly added items will be there, and the deleted things also would be there. And whether other states follow suit or not is another thing. And the one that we are concerned is the way the government of Kerala, the state, is acting against everything that's in the interest of the nation.
Sure.
NCERT
but
has
really
never
comes down to
suggested
who
that.
really is playing with the future of these children, because the allegations are flying thick and fast on both sides. The finger is being pointed to the other side on both those sides, which is why we're seeing the Kerala government actually take this decision. Unfortunately, I'm running short of time and I have to leave it at that, but I thank you both for joining us here on this broadcast with your perspective. Hopefully, there's no more politics on the future of our children in this country. A quick break here on this edition of Plain Speak, but on the other side, we're going to get you details of how Red Terror has struck again, this time in Dantewada in Chhattisgarh. Unfortunately, 10 of our Jawans losing their lives.
Community.
No, so no. If it is an election ploy, no. Once again, Aishwarya. Once again. Let me ask Aishwarya. If it's an election ploy, as you're saying, then how are you going to respond to it electorally? Because the BJP has thrown the gauntlet at you. They are saying that look, Congress brings in quotas for Muslims. We take away that quota and we give it to Vokoligas and to Lingayats. We are the only ones who care about the Hindus. Congress only cares about the Muslims.
You know, Zaka, it is so unfortunate that the BJP is so bankrupt and deprived of any issues of development that this is what they've resorted to. The Kannadigas in my state have lived peacefully, and today you've taken 4% from one community and piecemeal divided it to two other communities that were asking you for 15 and 12% respectively. The Congress's response is this: We believe social justice is one of the most important responsibilities of any political party. We're saying remove the 50% cap. We're saying we will have a better socio-economic census to ensure all communities are adequately represented. And we've also asked the central government to take the onus on releasing this census data. The Karnataka Congress stands for social justice for all, not for pluck for one and throw at the other or pull from the other.
No, but Aishwarya, you still haven't answered my question. I'll ask Syed Aslam and then also to... No, one second, sir, one second. I need to go to 2 other guests. There are 4 guests on this show. So let me go to guest number 3, Mr. Syed Aslam of the JDS. Aishwarya has not answered this question, but I'm going to ask you this. Fundamentally, the problem with the Muslim quota, even as Aishwarya argues, it was not based on religion or faith, it was based on socio-economic backward status. The fundamental problem was that socio-economic backward status was for people of one faith. That 4%, if you were socially and economically backward but not from the Muslim faith, you were not entitled to that 4% quota. Now, please tell me, Syed Aslam, why that should not be seen legally as a violation of the fundamental tenet of the Constitution that you cannot have quotas based on religion.
Well, Zaka, let me give you a very valid response to the stats. The Sachar committee report has categorically said the Muslim community, with respect to socio-economic and educational status, is behind the SC community. Let me give you some stats. The youth between the age of 15 to 24. Yeah. Okay. I think.
No, go on. I can hear you.
Are you able to hear?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah. So, Zaka, let me give you some stats. Some empirical evidence as well. Zaka, in the Sachar committee report, it was categorically told that the Muslim community's economic, socio-economic and educational status is worse than the SC community. Let me give you some stats. Between the age of 15 and 24, the youth who have enrolled in the educational institution is just 39%, versus the youth who have enrolled in the SC community in the educational institutions is 44%, and the OBC community is 51%, versus the upper caste Hindu community is 59%. You can understand the educational status of Muslims. And the second very important thing, Muslims contribute about 13% of this population. The bureaucratic representation in the government is just 2.7%, right? And you know what is our representation in the political arena and so on and so forth. Now, it is not about the Muslim communities being given reservation because they belong to one particular religion. It is about the economic status. It is about the social, economic, and educational status.
Mr. Aslam, So the government's argument. Give me 10 seconds. Government's argument is that if you are socially or economically backward, you're already covered under the 10% EWS quota. You apply in that. One second. Yeah. Syed Aslam,
Yeah. So, Zaka, I am drawing a very clear comparison based on the social, economic, and educational status.
Yes.
I am telling you this economically, socially, and educationally backward status didn't start from 1994. There are Miller Commission report, which was constituted by then Maharaja of Mysore. In 1921, the Muslims were considered as the backward community. And post-independence, the first commission, also, we have multiple commissions which have gone through. We have Havanur Commission. We have so many. Based on the Chinnappa Reddy Commission, it is not the Congress government which brought in the reservation for Muslims. Based on the Chinnappa Reddy Commission in 1994, it is Honorable former Prime Minister Deve Gowdaji, then he was the Chief Minister. He was the one who brought the reservation for Muslim community.
The Home Minister there saying that Muslim quota was unconstitutional in the first place, and your government, the Bommai government, removed something that was unconstitutional. If that is the case, why did the Supreme Court in the last hearing ask the Bommai government why there was such a pressing hurry to bring this quota? And more importantly, the Supreme Court today has effectively put a stay till the 9th of May on it.
Thank you for staying with us. Red terror, unfortunately, has struck once again. Another attack coming to the fore in Chhattisgarh's Dantewada. 10 soldiers of the District Reserve Guard, along with their driver, were martyred. Maoists attacked the DRG forces while they were on an anti-Naxal operation in the Aranpur district of Dantewada. These explosives were planted on the road the vehicle was taking when they had to return. Now, the crater that was caused by this particular blast was 5 feet in depth. This is the biggest attack carried out by Maoists on our security forces in the state of Chhattisgarh in the last 2 years. Now, after the attack, Chhattisgarh Chief Minister Bhupesh Baghel expressed condolences. He also said that anti-Naxal operations are in the last leg in the state and none of those involved will be spared. Home Minister Amit Shah has also dialed the Chhattisgarh Chief Minister. He's assured of all help needed from the central government, along with assistance provided to the bereaved families. The centre and state is working together as far as not just this particular attack is concerned, but fighting and carrying out anti-Naxal operations are concerned as well. Prime Minister Modi too took to Twitter. He offered his condolences and assured the state government of all assistance. CNN News 18 was on ground to take stock of what exactly happened and what next from here on. Take a look.
टीसी के दौरान जो है माओवादियों ने आज एक बड़ी घटना को अंजाम दिया है और इस वक्त हम दंतेवाड़ा जिले के समेली इलाके में मौजूद हैं, जहां पर माओवादियों ने आज जो है देर शाम को जो है एक आईडी ब्लास्ट की है, जिसमें एक जवानों से भरी जो पिकअप है वो ब्लास्ट की चपेट में आ गई है, जिसमें जवानों की शहादत हुई है। जैसा कि आप देख सकते हैं कि जो ये रोड है और यहाँ बहुत ही इतना विस्फोट भयानक था कि देख सकते हैं आप, गड्ढा देख के अंदाज़ा लगाया जा सकता है कि कितना जो है यहाँ पर भारी विस्फोट हुआ होगा, क्योंकि ये इलाका जो है काफ़ी जो है नक्सल प्रभावित इलाका है। लेकिन बस्तर में जो है तीनों ज़िलों में अगर हम माओवादियों की जो इलाके में कंपेयर करें तो जो है दंतेवाड़ा जो है वो काफ़ी सेफ माना जाता है। और इस वक्त जो है आप देख सकते हैं कि कितना विस्फोट ज़बरदस्त रहा होगा, क्योंकि जो है करीब जो है 5 फीट से ज़्यादा जो है गड्ढा यहाँ पर हो गया। और ये जो है मुख्य सड़क है, ये अरनपुर से पालनार होते हुए जो है सीधे दंतेवाड़ा कुआकोंडा को जोड़ती है और इसी मार्ग पर जो है आगे जरगुंडा स्थित है। यहाँ पर बताया जाता है कि फोर्स जब यहाँ से जो है यहाँ से गुजर रही थी, उस दौरान जो है माओवादियों ने एक आईडी ब्लास्ट किया है। ब्लास्ट के दौरान जो है जवानों की शहादत हुई है। बस्तर के दक्षिण बस्तर के 3 जिले दंतेवाड़ा, सुकमा और बीजापुर, जिसमें दंतेवाड़ा को जो है सबसे सेफ जोन माना जाता था, लेकिन जो ये इलाका है समेली और अरनपुर का जो इलाका है ये माओवादियों से प्रभावित इलाका है। और बताया जाता है कि आज सुबह डीआरजी के जवान इसी इलाके के गश्त पे थे और सुबह जो है माओवादियों के साथ एक मुठभेड़ भी हुई थी, ऐसी सूचना मिल रही है। और फिलहाल जो है माओवादियों ने एक बड़े घात को अंजाम देते हुए जो है एक आईडी ब्लास्ट की है, जिसमें जवान शहीद हो गए हैं। और इस वक्त जो है घटनास्थल पर यहाँ पर एम्बुलेंस जो है काफ़ी संख्या में एम्बुलेंस बुलाई गई है, जिसमें जो है शहीद जवानों का पार्थिव जो है शरीर वो भेजा जा रहा है। उसके साथ साथ जो है घायल जवान है उनको जो है यहाँ से दंतेवाड़ा ले जाया जा रहा है। और इस वक्त घटनास्थल पर हम मौजूद हैं। जैसा कि आप देख सकते हैं कि हमारे पीछे दंतेवाड़ा के जो एसपी है सिद्धार्थ तिवारी वो पहुँच चुके हैं और साथ साथ जो है बीजापुर के एसपी जो है आंजनेय वेस्ट वो घटनास्थल पर पहुँच चुके हैं। यहाँ पर जवानों के काफ़ी संख्या में जवान तैनात है और यहाँ पर लगातार जो है एम्बुलेंस यहाँ पर आ रहे हैं। यहाँ से जो है घायलों को यहाँ से बाहर निकाला जा रहा है, दंतेवाड़ा भेजा जा रहा है। और इसके अलावा यहाँ पर लगातार जो है अधिकारियों का भी आना जाना शुरू हो चुका है। और बताया जाता है कि जवान जो है यहाँ से पिकअप की वाहन में सवार होकर यहाँ से गुजर रहे थे, उस दौरान जो है माओवादियों ने एक आईडी ब्लास्ट की जिसकी चपेट में जवान है और साथ साथ में एक जो है वाहन चालक भी चपेट में आया है।
Dantewada has been an area that is unfortunately not someone who's unknown to these perils. We've seen several of these attacks take place in Chhattisgarh, especially in this particular belt. Let's take you through how it has all transpired in the last several years, beginning from 2014. 16 people were killed in a Maoist ambush in the Sukma district in 2014 in March. In the same year, in December, 14 CRPF personnel were killed in the same district in Sukma, where there are anti-Naxal operations that are underway even now. In 2015 and April, 7 elite special task force personnel were killed in Bastar. In February 2020, 2 Cobra commandos were killed in Bijapur as well. So there are different parts of Chhattisgarh, but they're all known as the Red Belt or the Maoist Belt. In 2020, in March, 17 police personnel were killed in Sukma, another district. In 2021, a year later, in April, 22 security personnel were killed at the Bijapur-Sukma border. In 2023, this year, that is today, 11 security personnel have been killed in an IED attack. It's 10 security personnel. One of them was a civilian, we are given to understand, the driver, but it's 10 DRG personnel that have been martyred in that particular attack. Condolences pouring in from all sides. The Chief Minister also assuring that this is not going to affect any of these operations against Maoists. They will be dealt with. No one will be spared, was the message from the Chief Minister.
इस प्रकार की जानकारी है और ये बेहद दुखद है और हमारे जो जवान शहीद हुए हैं उसके परिवार के प्रति संवेदना व्यक्त करता हूँ। लेकिन जो ये लड़ाई है वो अंतिम दौर पे चल रहा है और नक्सलियों को किसी सूरत में छोड़ा नहीं जाएगा और निश्चित रूप से उस योजनाबद्ध ढंग से बना के ये नक्सलवाद को ही समाप्त करेंगे।
That's all we'll back in for you in this edition of Plain Speak. Thank you so much for tuning in.